Dear students, today we will try to understand what is hypervisor, its functions, and the various types of hypervisors we have in virtualization. And I'm Dr. Mary Jacob, Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science of Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Let us first understand what this hypervisor is. Hypervisor is also known as a virtual machine monitor, and this is a software which helps us to create and manage virtual machines on a physical host machine, which means on one single physical machine it helps me to create multiple VMs, and this allows me to run multiple operating systems, maybe of different versions, to run concurrently on a single physical machine, wherein all these VMs share the CPU resource, memory, storage, and networking resources. What are the functions of hypervisor? Hypervisor basically abstracts the physical hardware to create virtual environments for the multiple operating systems that run on the different VMs that you have on a single physical machine. It also allocates and manages resources to the VMs it allows on a single physical machine. When it also allows you to have multiple VMs, it makes sure that the independence of each VM is being securely maintained on the same host. Moreover, it facilitates easy movement of VMs across different physical machines. Also, it provides various tools to monitor, configure, and maintain the VM as well as their resources. So these are the basic functions of hypervisor. Now, there are two different types of hypervisor, which we basically call them as type 1 and type 2 hypervisors. Now, in type 1 hypervisor, the virtualization software runs directly on a physical hardware platform without the need of a host operating system. The host operating system is the one which resides on the physical machine, and the guest OS is the one that comes with the VM. It also manages and allocates the physical resources of the hardware to the multiple VMs, each of the VM having its own operating systems. For example, the VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V, and Xen hypervisors all belongs to type 1 hypervisor. It is also called as bare metal hypervisor because it doesn't require a host operating system. It directly interacts with the physical hardware platform, and that is the reason the type 1 is also called as bare metal hypervisor. So if you look at this, each of this VM has got their own applications, and these applications interact to the guest OS, and the guest OS directly, or the hypervisor directly, talks to the hardware. That is the reason these hypervisors are called as bare metal hypervisors. Moving on, the characteristic of type 1 hypervisor, since it has got a direct access to the hardware, we efficiently use the resources, and this contributes the better performance compared to type 2 hypervisors. And there's a minimal overhead because there is no intermediary host operating system layer, leading to near native performance of all the VMs. And it also provides enhanced security due to the isolation of VMs and minimal attack surface. What are the advantages of type 1 hypervisor? It provides a direct interaction with the hardware, and therefore there's an efficient resource allocation and management. Performance, like we just discussed the previous slide, it provides a near native performance because of the reduced overhead. And scalability, yes, it is suitable for large scale enterprise environments and data centers. It provides enhanced isolation, and like discussed, it reduces the attack surface and improves the security. It provides high availability and disaster recovery features like snapshots, backups, or even live migration. Some of the places that you find Type 1 hypervisor being used are in data centers, cloud computing, enterprise IT, as well as high performance computing, where you have really complex, computationally intensive tasks. Moving on, the next type of hypervisor is type 2, or we also call it as hosted hypervisor. I hope you should be able to guess why hosted, because there is going to be the host OS that you will find in between the hypervisor and the hardware, and this is where type 1 and type 2 shows out its difference. Type 1 directly interacts with the hardware, wherein type 2 goes through the host OS. It enables the users to run multiple VMs on a physical machine and utilizing its resources while providing isolation between the VMs. And this is very easy to install and use, suitable for desktop virtualization and testing purpose. Examples like VMware Workstation, the Oracle VirtualBox, Parallels Desktop, all of these are Type 2 hypervisors. Look at the diagram here, and it clearly demonstrates that this hypervisor interacts to the hardware through the host operating system, and that is why it is also called as hosted hypervisor. Characteristic: yes, it depends on the host OS. It is easier to install when compared to Type 1 hypervisors, making it very commonly used between the testers, and at a low level environment where you do not have much intense computations, and allows users to run multiple guest OS simultaneously on a single host machine, like what was happening with Type 1 hypervisors. Also, it provides for VM isolation. Advantages: yes, it is easy to use, it is very user-friendly interfaces, and it's even can be used by non-technical users. Supports a wide range of host operating systems, allows flexibility in VM deployment, ideal for software development, testing, and running different OS in a single machine. Often it is free or sometimes lower cost solutions when compared to Type 1 hypervisors, suitable for small scale and personal deployments. Use cases: if you look at, I was telling you, these are all the examples that you find Type 2 hypervisors: VMware Workstation, or Oracle VirtualBox, Parallels Desktop, or Quick Emulator, which is an open source emulator that basically supports various guest architectures and provides emulation capabilities. So these are few use cases of Type 2 hypervisors. Hope you had an understanding of what is hypervisor, what is its role, and what are the two different types of hypervisors. Thank you.